Okay, so starting today, we'll start with MySQL. And in MySQL, I don't want to burden you people directly with the theory. So we will go very easy, very simple. We will start today by writing a simple query in MySQL. So I'll go into my notes first of all. Okay, so these are the notes, but when we scroll through them, there is mostly theory which is at the beginning of the notes. But we will learn this in the future. Okay, we will not start reading the theory right now itself because it will go hectic on you. So once you understand MySQL a little bit, then we will come back to this theory, which is also an important part of it. Once we start writing MySQL query, you will understand what this theory is all about. It is very simple, very easy. So once we start with MySQL, like writing the code, then we will understand this all the theory very easily. So that's why I want to take you people to the MySQL part, like the proper writing the query part. Okay, so first of all, what is a MySQL? Okay, MySQL is a software. MySQL is not the language itself. There is a difference. Okay, if I say what database you work on, you should say I work on SQL database. SQL, because SQL is the language that you are working on. SQL. Okay, SQL is the language. For example, SQL is the language that you are working on. SQL. Okay, so SQL is the language that we are working on. Yeah, and MySQL is the software in which we write SQL. So this is the language, and this is your software on which you write MySQL, in which you write the SQL. This language is written into this software. As simple as that. Okay. So why do we need this? See, what SQL is, it's basically a database. It comprises of rows and columns, just like in Excel. This is a Excel sheet. Okay, so these are the rows: row 1, row 2, right, row 3. These are the columns A, B, C. Exactly similarly, in MySQL, we maintain a database in rows and columns. So that is what basically SQL is, and by using SQL, we can write data into these rows. By writing the SQL language, we can write data into these rows, and by using certain conditions, say if you have a certain table, for example, you have an employee table, and from employee table you want to know how many employees have salary greater than 10,000. So we can write a query to only get the names and the details of employee whose salary is only 10,000. So that is basically use of MySQL or SQL. It gives you a data according to the query that you have written. That is what SQL is. So I'll start the MySQL workbench. How many people of you have started installed MySQL, have MySQL installed? Can you please tell me in the comments? Okay, installed. Fine. Okay, so I would recommend highly that you first install MySQL, and then we will start it. Okay. So first of all, I like to explain you what a database is actually. See, this is your MySQL workbench. This is how it looks like. Yeah, in this MySQL workbench, you have this area, this right here, is your the navigator bar. Here are the schemas. Now what are schemas? I'll explain it to you in some time. Okay, so first of all, we'll create a new SQL tab for executing queries. So I clicked here on this part, and this is my query editor. This is called as query editor. Query editor means this is the part where you will write your query. Okay, this is the part where you will write your query. So by definition, to understand what is a database and what are tables, Okay, so now database, it's a collection of tables. Database is collection of tables. You ask me, just a minute. Now what is a database? Database, it is basically a collection of data, or you can say tables. Means you can have multiple tables in a single database. Now consider database as a cupboard. You have cupboard in your house. That cupboard is your database, and every cupboard, see, if we check cupboards, if we check cupboard, yeah, see, for example, this is your cupboard, right? This is your cupboard. Each cupboard has a compartment. This is one table, this is another table, this is another table. See, these compartments inside this one single cupboard, this single cupboard is your database, and inside that database you have tables. So each table, this can be your employee table, this can be your customer table, this can be your order table, or different tables. So a database is something that is a collection of data or a collection of tables as per se. So I have written the definition of it completely over here. See, a database is a collection of related data and organized information that is stored and managed in a structured manner. Structured manner का मतलब होता है, it means basically rows and columns. Whenever someone says to you that the data is stored in a structured manner, it will mean that it is stored in rows and columns in a proper way. Okay, so whenever someone says it's that it is a structured manner, it means it is stored in rows and column. So this is the definition of a database. A database is a collection of related data and organized information that is stored and managed in a structured manner. Okay, and if we go back to table, a table is a fundamental database object. It is called as an object. Okay, table that stored structured data in rows and columns. So now if I have this, see, if I have one table, see, let's say this is my one table. Okay, this is my one table, this is my another table, this is my third table, yeah, so this is my table number 1, this is my table number 2, and this is my table number 3. So these tables are also called as objects of a database, and when I select, or when I have all these tables in one database, when I have a collection of these tables, it is called as a database. This dark boundary outside, it is having 3 tables, so this is your database. This is your database, and these all are your table number 1, table 1, this right is your table 2, this right here is your table 3. So are we clear about what is a table and what is a database? Database is a collection of tables. Are we clear about it? Can you, like, anyone just give me a confirmation that you're understanding? Okay. So database and table, we are clear. Okay, so now I will explain you how to create a database. See, what is the need of creating a database? See, you have to store your clothes, right? If you have to store your clothes like this, say you have to store your clothes, first you need a cupboard, right? If you want to store anything, you have to save anything, you will first need a cupboard, you'll need a box to save anything. So that box, that collection, you have to start by making a database. So first thing that we create is a database. If your database is already created, we don't create it again. For example, see the schemas, note this point, that schema is basically nothing but database. The schema is nothing but database. So we have here schema. See, schemas, page number 21, schemas in MySQL, a schema is essentially same as database. So whenever you open MySQL and here schemas is written, don't misunderstand it for something else. See, schema is marked, so we are into the schemas. You want to see administration, this is administration. We don't go over here, we have no business over here right now, we are into schemas. So these are the schemas, or you can say database. These are the database that I have. each database will have some tables. If I click here, I go into company. See, these are the tables that I have created into the company database: customer, department, match data. So this is the interview database. I click here, it has tables like the interview data table. I go into Python 1, I have tables like customer, emp1, employee. So this right here, Python 1, is my database, and these are the tables that are in the database. Yeah, so this is the cupboard, this is the cupboard, this is the cupboard, and in this cupboard there are these compartments: customer, department. These are the tables inside of it. So when you want to check what are the tables inside your database, so this is the company database, you want to check what are the tables, you click here and you click on the tables. You will see all the tables that are in this database. For example, let's say we want to create a database. So we have to write a query to create a database, or in your terms, if you want to say, if you want to create a box or a cupboard to save the tables, we first have to create the database. This, as I told you, is your query editor. This is known as your query editor. Okay, here you write query. So to create database, we write, it's very simple. We write create and we write database. Create database and the name of the database that you want to give. So what name we should give to it? Let's say we can give it a name as say let's give it a name cupboard, so you people will understand. See, the query is very simple to create a database. I told you, if you know English, you know MySQL. To create a database, you simply write create database, and this is the name of the database. Okay, create database and name of the database. And there is a concept called as delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but when you tell the query, when you tell this MySQL editor that this sentence is over, so this semicolon is your limiter, or it is the how should I put it, it is the limiter, or you say, or you tell the SQL editor, yeah, that it is over.
Full stop, na?
Yeah, just like that. A full stop you could say, but we call it a limiter. Okay, we tell the query editor that this is where this query ends, because we will not only write this query, we will also write use database, use cupboard. See, what happens is, now Python 3 is highlighted. Can you see? All the other databases, they are not highlighted, but Python 3 is highlighted, right? Which means that Python 3 is in use. Whatever I'll write, it will go inside of Python 3. But we don't want to use Python 3. We have created our very own database named cupboard. We have not yet created it, and we will write use cupboard. So this this semicolon, it will tell that this query ends here, this query ends here. Okay, so whatever you do, you will get your actions right over here. This is where you will understand ki, yeah, the data, whatever query you have written has been executed or not. Executed means has MySQL run the query or not. See, okay, so going ahead, I told you this is the SQL query editor. This is the query editor. Yeah, this is the execute button. Okay, what this will do, if I click it right here, it will execute line number 1 and it will execute line number 2 both together if I just click it right here. But if I want to only execute this query, the first query, so I have to select this query and then press this button, execute button. Are we clear on that? How we execute? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now what we do simply is we create database cupboard. We have given it the name cupboard. We will simply create it. So to create it, we will select this much statement, yeah, and we will click this execute button. See, we got an action output. It says create database cupboard, one row affected. A green tick means the database has been created and there was no error. The green tick, it means that there is no error. Whatever you have created, it has been created successfully. What did I do? I will tell again. I selected this part and I pressed this execute button. Only that much I did. But can anyone see, is this there? Can you see cupboard over here? You can't, right? So what I have to do, I have to refresh it over here. You see here the refresh button is there. You click the refresh button. Now you can see cupboard has appeared over here. Can you see the database cupboard? Yeah, but there is nothing inside of this table. See, there is no drop down arrow with the tables. Like in company, there was a drop down arrow. See, there was a drop down arrow for table, but here it is not, because we haven't yet created any table inside of cupboard. Also, you can see I have written cupboard here in capital, right? But the cupboard over here is in small case. This is the upper case and this is the lower case. Because note down this very important point. This, they will ask you this in interview, that is MySQL case sensitive or case insensitive. What is the meaning of case sensitive and case insensitive? It simply means if MySQL means, see, in usually other programming language, if I write select star from employees in all in capital and all in small, it will mean that these are two different statements, even though they are one and the same. But in programming languages, it means that these are two different languages. In Python, it will mean they are two different sentences, because Python is case sensitive language. Case sensitive means this capital E and this small e, these are two different letters for Python. But MySQL, SQL language, is a case insensitive language. Case insensitive means small e and capital E, it will mean same for SQL. This is an important interview question. They will ask you, is SQL case sensitive or case insensitive? So the answer is SQL is case insensitive language on page number 5. Case insensitive means if you write everything in capital or you write everything in small, it is one and the same for SQL. No differentiation in uppercase and lowercase. Clear about it? You understand why even though I have written here in capital, यहाँ पे its name is in small? Because SQL is case insensitive language. That's why. Okay, see, now I have created the database, create database cupboard. Okay, cupboard is created. Here it is green tick, which means the query was right and it was executed properly. But I have created it now. I'll run it once again. See what will happen. I've got a X. X means your query has a problem, or what you're trying to execute, it is a problem. See what message is given. It is giving error code 1007. This is not important. Read this. Can't create database cupboard. Database exist, which means cupboard is already existing over here. You can't run this again. Are we clear on this? Why we got this error? Please, everyone on your mic, tell me. Yeah? Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Guys, rest of
Yes.
you, are you clear?
Yes. Yes.
Because once we have written this, once we have written a query and it has created a database or a table, it will give you an error like this. That's why it is called as query. It runs only one while creating something. If you try to create it again when it is already present, it will give you an error like this, that it exists already. Understood? Okay. Now, in which database are we right now? We are in Python 3 database because it is highlighted. But we want to use which database? Cupboard database, right? We want to highlight this. There are two ways of doing this. First, we write the query use cupboard. We tell SQL this is the query. See, you want to use something. What will you tell in English? Like use mobile. You'll say this, right? So similarly, I am saying use cupboard. It's very simple. It's plain English. Okay, use cupboard. So this highlight will go and cupboard will be highlighted. This database will be highlighted. Now watch. I will select this. Yeah, and I'll execute this. See, cupboard is highlighted. The Python 3 highlight is gone. So whichever database is highlighted, it is in use. You understand the meaning of this highlight and the meaning of use cupboard? See, 0 rows affected, we got a green tick, which means whatever we executed, it was executed properly. So this is how we create a database. Are we clear on that? Please, someone start your mic. Are we clear on that? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how you create your own cupboard in MySQL. This is how you create your own cupboard in MySQL. You want to start creating your cupboard. It is a very simple query. You just write create database, name of the database, it will get created. Then you use cupboard, and that will get highlighted, or that database will be selected. See, this is one way you use cupboard. You write the query, use cupboard. Other way is double clicking on it. If I double click on Python 3, see, it will highlight. This is gone, and now this is highlighted. I want to use this, I double click it here. See, this is gone. This is gone, means highlight is gone. The highlight is on the cupboard now. This is other way of using a database. What is the meaning of this? Now, whatever I will write to create a table or anything, it will go inside of cupboard. This one, this database named cupboard. Understood? If I select this and write anything, it will go into database named company. So you have to be aware which database you are in. You have created cupboard, but if you are into this Python 3 database, everything you do will go over here, not over here. So you have to do this, and the safe way to do this is to write use and your database name. Are we clear on that? I think, yeah. So now let's create something else. Okay, now I want to see, here I got an error, right? That this database exists. Huh? But see, company database, I also already have a company database which I created earlier. But now I'll write it again. Create database company. Company. Huh? And I try to execute it. What will happen? Tell me. Anyone please tell me. I have a database name company, and I'm trying to write it again. What will happen? Come on. Same error, right? This error will come. So if you already have a database, you will have many database in work. So if you already have a database and you don't want to get an error, what you do is you write create database if not exists. What did I add over here? Only create database if not exist. What will this query do? See how we say ki like say you say ki do the payment if I have not done it. You will say that, na? You don't want to pay again to someone, right? You will tell your friend ki you do the payment if I have not done it. So this is same as saying that create database if not exist. If this does not exist, then only create database. Now if I run this query, it will not give me an error. It will just give me a warning. See, it has given me a warning, right? It has not given me this red error. Okay, whatever query is written ahead of it, it will execute. It will only give a yellow warning. Can't create database exists. But it has not given you error. See, here it has given you error. Here it is not giving you error, it is giving you warning. So you understand how you will write and create a database? Are we clear? We will not simply write create database cupboard. We will write create database if not exist. This if not exist is called as a operator, you could say, or a condition. Are we clear on how we are going to create database? Are we clear on that? So tomorrow we will learn how to create table. Are you people clear on how to create a database in MySQL? What are the different windows over here? Are you clear on that? Can I just get a confirmation from everyone? Yeah? Yes?